A poor girl with nothing but dreams. A wealthy family with everything but compassion. Their worlds collided in the cruelest way. But when fate turned the tables, the ones who mocked her came crawling back, begging for what only she could give. Sit back, relax, and find out as we delve into this emotional story. In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a young girl named Emma. She was 16 years old, thin, with clothes that had been washed so many times the colors had faded. Her school uniform was too short, her shoes had holes, and her bag was held together with safety pins. But Emma's eyes were bright. Every morning, she woke up at 5 a.m. in the small room she shared with her mother, Grace, a woman who cleaned offices at night to put food on the table. Grace would look at Emma with tired eyes and say softly, "My daughter, education is the only thing that can change our story. Study hard. Make me proud." Emma would nod, kissing her mother's rough hands. "I will, Mama, I promise." She carried those words with her every single day. At Greenfield High School, Emma sat at the back of the class, not because she wanted to, but because that was where the scholarship students were placed. The front rows were reserved for the children of wealthy families, the ones who came in expensive cars, whose parents donated millions to the school. Among them was a girl named Vanessa. Vanessa had smooth skin, long braided hair, designer bags, and a sharp tongue. She was the daughter of Chief Robert, one of the richest men in the city. Vanessa never missed a chance to remind everyone of her status. One afternoon, during break time, Emma sat alone under a tree, reading her textbook. She was so focused she did not hear Vanessa and her friends approaching. Vanessa stood over her, blocking the sunlight. "Look at this one," Vanessa said loudly, laughing. "Emma the beggar. Always reading like book will pay your mama's rent." Her friends burst into laughter. Emma did not look up. She kept her eyes on the page, her jaw tight. Vanessa bent down, snatching the book from Emma's hands. "I'm talking to you. Are you deaf?" Emma slowly raised her head. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were firm. "Please give me back my book," Vanessa smirked. "Or what? You'll report me. Who will listen to you?" She tossed the book into the dirt. Emma's hands clenched into fists, but she said nothing. She stood up, brushed the dust off the book, and walked away. Vanessa shouted behind her, "Run away, poor girl. That's all you can do." But Emma did not run. She walked with her head high, her heart burning quietly. Weeks passed. The insults continued. In the classroom, during group projects, even in the hallways, Vanessa found ways to humiliate Emma. She would accidentally spill water on Emma's books. She would whisper loudly when Emma answered questions in class, saying, "Look at her forming intelligent. Poverty no let her see road." The other students laughed. Some felt sorry for Emma, but said nothing. Fear of Vanessa kept them silent. One day, the principal, Mrs. Adayemi, called an assembly. She stood on the stage, her voice echoing through the hall. "Students, I have an important announcement. The National Merit Scholarship Competition is coming. The scholarship covers university fees, accommodation, and a monthly allowance for years. It is a full ride. Any student who wishes to apply should submit their forms by Friday." The hall buzzed with excitement. Emma's heart began to race. This was it. This was her chance. That evening, Emma told her mother about the scholarship. Grace's face lit up like the sun breaking through clouds. "My daughter," she whispered, holding Emma's face in her hands. "This is your opportunity. God has opened a door. You must walk through it." Emma nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I will try, Mama. I will try my best." Grace kissed her forehead. "I know you will." For the next 3 weeks, Emma did not sleep much. She studied every night under a dim bulb, reading, writing, solving problems until her eyes burned. Grace would bring her tea and sit beside her, praying quietly. On the day of the scholarship exam, Emma arrived early. She sat in the examination hall, her hands shaking slightly. She closed her eyes and whispered, "God, if you are there, help me." Just this once, when the exam began, Emma read each question carefully. Slowly, her confidence grew. She knew the answers. She had studied them all. Hours later, when the exam ended, she walked out feeling light, feeling hopeful. Vanessa, who had also taken the exam, stood outside with her friends. When she saw Emma, she laughed. You actually think you can win? Please. My father already spoke to someone. That scholarship is mine. Emma looked at her once, then walked away without saying a word. Silence, she had learned, was sometimes the strongest reply. 3 weeks later, the results were announced. Mrs. Adayemi stood at the assembly again, holding an envelope. The entire school was silent. The winner of the National Merit Scholarship is, she paused, opening the envelope slowly, Emma Grace Okafor. The hall exploded. Some students clapped. Others gasped. Vanessa's face turned red. She stood up so fast her chair fell backward. That's impossible, she shouted. Mrs. Adayemi looked at her calmly. Miss Vanessa, sit down. The results are final. Vanessa's hands trembled with rage. She stormed out of the hall, her friends running after her. Emma sat frozen in her seat. Her name, they called her name. Tears rolled down her cheeks as students surrounded her, congratulating her. That evening, Emma ran all the way home. She burst through the door, breathless. Mama, Mama, I won. I won the scholarship. Grace dropped the plate she was holding. It did not break, but she did not care. She grabbed Emma and held her tight, both of them crying, laughing, thanking God you did it. My daughter, you did it. Meanwhile, at Chief Robert's mansion, Vanessa slammed the door to her room. Her father knocked gently. Vanessa opened the door. She yanked it open, her eyes red. That girl, that poor girl, she took what was supposed to be mine. Chief Robert sighed. Vanessa, you did not study. You were on your phone the whole time. Vanessa shouted back, I didn't need to study. You said you would handle it. Chief Robert's face hardened. I said I would try. But merit is merit. The girl earned it. Vanessa turned away, biting her lip. For the first time in her life, money could not buy what she wanted, and it burned her deeply. For years passed like wind. Emma entered the University of Lagos, one of the top schools in the country. She studied medicine. Every semester, she came out with the highest grades. She was featured in newspapers. She won awards. She became known as the girl who rose from nothing to something. Her mother, Grace, moved into a better apartment. Emma sent her money every month. Grace cried every time, whispering, my daughter, my blessing. During her final year, Emma was invited to speak at Greenfield High School. When Mrs. Adayemi called her, Emma hesitated. Ma, I don't know if I should go back there. Mrs. Adayemi's voice was gentle. Emma, you are not the same girl who left. Show them what you have become. Emma agreed. On the day of the visit, she wore a simple but elegant dress. Her hair was neatly styled. She carried herself with quiet grace. When she walked into the school hall, students stared. Some whispered, is that really her? Emma stood on the stage and began to speak. Her voice was calm, strong, clear. When I was here, I was mocked. I was called names. I was told I would amount to nothing. But I did not let those words define me. I used them as fuel. Today, I stand before you as a medical doctor in training, a scholarship recipient, and someone who refused to give up. The hall was silent. Some students had tears in their eyes. In the back row, Vanessa sat with her arms crossed. She did not clap. She did not smile. She just stared. After the speech, Emma was surrounded by students asking questions. Vanessa watched from a distance, her heart heavy with something she could not name. Regret, perhaps, or shame. 6 months later, Emma graduated top of her class. She was offered a position at a prestigious hospital in Lagos. Life was finally smiling at her. But then, one evening, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello, Emma answered. A woman's voice, shaky and desperate, spoke. Is this Dr. Emma Okafor? Emma frowned. Yes, speaking. Who is this? There was a pause. Then the woman said, my name is Mrs. Robert. My husband, Chief Robert, is very sick. The doctors here say they cannot help him. But we heard about you. We heard you are the best. Please, we need you. Emma's heart stopped. Robert, Vanessa's father. She closed her eyes, remembering every insult, every moment of pain. Why me? Emma asked quietly. Mrs. Roberts' voice cracked. Because you are the only one who can save him. Please, I am begging you. Emma did not answer immediately. She sat in silence, her mind racing. Finally, she said, send me the details. I will see what I can do." 2 days later, Emma walked into the private hospital where Chief Robert was admitted. She wore her white coat, stethoscope around her neck. Nurses greeted her with respect. "Dr. Okafor, the family is waiting in the VIP ward." Emma nodded and walked down the long corridor. When she entered the room, she saw him. Chief Robert lay on the bed, his face pale, his breathing shallow. Beside him sat Mrs. Robert, her eyes red from crying, and standing near the window was Vanessa. When Vanessa saw Emma, her body went stiff. Emma walked closer to the bed and checked the charts. She examined Chief Robert carefully, her face professional, her hands steady. After a few minutes, she turned to Mrs. Robert. "He has a rare infection. It is treatable, but it requires a specific procedure." "I can do it." Mrs. Robert grabbed Emma's hand. "Please, doctor, save my husband. I will pay anything." Emma looked at her, then at Vanessa, who had not said a word. Emma's voice was soft but firm. "I am not doing this for money. I am doing this because it is my duty. Every life matters, even those who once did not think mine did." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. She looked down, unable to meet Emma's gaze. The surgery took 6 hours. Emma worked with precision, focus, and skill. When it was over, she stepped out of the operating room, exhausted but steady. Mrs. Robert rushed to her. "Doctor, how is he?" Emma removed her gloves slowly. "The surgery was successful. He will recover fully, but he needs rest and careful monitoring." Mrs. Robert collapsed into a chair, sobbing with relief. Thank you so much." Emma nodded and turned to leave. But then she heard a voice behind her. "Emma," she stopped. It was Vanessa. Emma turned slowly. Vanessa stood there, her face wet with tears, her hands shaking. I am sorry," Vanessa whispered, "for everything, for how I treated you, for the words I said. I was cruel. I was wrong." Emma looked at her for a long moment. Her eyes were not angry. They were calm. "I forgave you a long time ago, Vanessa," Emma said quietly. "Not because you deserved it, but because holding onto hate would have destroyed me. I chose to rise instead." Vanessa sobbed harder. "I don't deserve your kindness." Emma's voice softened. "None of us deserve grace, but we all need it." She turned and walked away, leaving Vanessa standing there, broken and humbled. Days later, Chief Robert woke up. When he learned that Emma had saved his life, he wept. He called her to his bedside. "Dr. Emma," he said weakly, "I heard what my daughter did to you. I am ashamed. I raised her with everything but taught her nothing about respect." Emma stood beside him, her face gentle. "Chief, your daughter is young. She can still learn. Use this moment to teach her." Chief Robert nodded, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you. You did not have to help us, but you did." Emma smiled softly. "I help because it is who I am, not because of who you are." Weeks passed. Chief Robert recovered fully. He invited Emma to his home for a thank you dinner. Emma hesitated but eventually agreed. When she arrived at the mansion, the same mansion she once only saw from outside, she was welcomed warmly. The table was set beautifully. Mrs. Robert hugged her. "You gave me my husband back. I will never forget that." During dinner, Vanessa sat across from Emma. She had been quiet the whole evening. Finally, she spoke. "Emma, I want to say something." Everyone turned to her. Vanessa's voice shook. "I spent my whole life thinking money made me better than others. I laughed at you. I hurt you. But you became everything I pretended to be. You are strong. You are kind. You are everything I am not." Emma looked at her, then reached across the table and held her hand. "You can become better, Vanessa. It is not too late." Vanessa broke down, squeezing Emma's hand. "Thank you," she whispered. That night, as Emma drove home, she thought about everything. The pain, the struggle, the victory. She thought about her mother, who sacrificed everything. She thought about the girl she used to be and the woman she had become. When she reached home, Grace was waiting. "How was it, my daughter?" Emma smiled and hugged her mother tightly. "It was good, Mama. It was healing." 3 months after Chief Robert's recovery, Emma received another unexpected call. This time, it was Vanessa herself. Her voice sounded different, softer, more humble. "Emma, can we meet? I need to talk to you about something important." Emma agreed, curious about what Vanessa wanted. They met at a quiet cafe in Victoria Island. Vanessa arrived early, wearing simple jeans and a plain shirt, nothing like the designer clothes she used to parade in. When Emma sat down, Vanessa looked nervous. She fidgeted with her hands, then finally spoke. "Emma, since my father's illness, everything has changed in our family. I have been thinking a lot about my life, about who I was and who I wanted to become." Emma listened quietly, her face patient. Vanessa continued, her voice breaking slightly. "I went back to school. I enrolled in nursing school. I want to help people like you do. I want to give back, but I am struggling. The coursework is hard, and I realize now that I never really learned how to work hard for anything." She paused, tears forming in her eyes. "I was wondering if you could help me, not with money or connections, but with guidance. I need someone to show me how to push through when things get difficult. You are the strongest person I know." Emma sat back, studying Vanessa's face. The girl before her was nothing like the arrogant teenager from years ago. This Vanessa was broken open, vulnerable, real. "Why nursing?" Emma asked gently. Vanessa wiped her eyes. "Because when I watched you save my father, I saw something I had never seen before. Purpose. You had a reason to wake up every day that was bigger than yourself. I want that. I am tired of living an empty life filled with expensive things, but no meaning." Emma reached across the table and squeezed Vanessa's hand. "I will help you, but you have to promise me something. You have to promise that you will never give up, even when it gets hard, even when you want to quit." Vanessa nodded quickly. "I promise. I really promise." From that day forward, Emma became Vanessa's mentor. They met twice a week. Emma helped her with her studies, taught her how to organize her time, how to focus, how to push through exhaustion and doubt. At first, Vanessa struggled. She failed her first anatomy test. She cried in Emma's office, saying, "Maybe I am not smart enough for this." Emma looked at her firmly. "Smart is not something you are born with. Smart is something you become through hard work. Get up. Try again." Vanessa wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and tried again. Meanwhile, Emma's foundation, the Grace Foundation, continued to grow. She had helped over 100 students get scholarships. Young girls and boys from poor families were now in universities studying medicine, engineering, law, and business. Emma traveled to different schools, giving talks, inspiring students who looked just like she once did. One afternoon, while Emma was in her office at the hospital, her secretary knocked. "Dr. Emma, there is a young girl here to see you. She says it is urgent." Emma nodded. "Send her in." A small girl, no more than 14 years old, walked in slowly. Her uniform was torn, her shoes were worn out, and her eyes were filled with fear and hope at the same time. "Good afternoon, Ma," the girl said quietly. "My name is Blessing." Emma smiled warmly. "Hello, Blessing. Please sit down. How can I help you?" Blessing sat on the edge of the chair, her hands shaking. "Ma, I heard about your foundation. I heard you help students like me. I want to go to school, but my father died last year, and my mother sells oranges by the roadside. We do not have money. My teachers say I am intelligent, but I might have to stop school next term." Her voice cracked. "Please, Ma, I do not want to stop. I want to be a doctor like you." Emma's heart tightened. She saw herself in this girl. The same hunger, the same fear, the same fire. "Blessing," Emma said gently, "do you work hard in school?" Blessing nodded quickly. "Yes, Ma. I study every night. Even when there is no light, I use candle." Emma leaned forward. "Then I will help you. The Grace Foundation will pay for your school fees, your books, your uniform, everything. But you must promise me that you will never give up." Blessing's eyes went wide. Tears poured down her face. "Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. I will not disappoint you. I promise." Emma stood up and hugged her. "You remind me of someone I used to know, a girl who had nothing but refused to stay there." As Blessing left the office, Emma sat down and closed her eyes. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Vanessa. "Emma, I passed my anatomy exam. I got a B. I could not have done it without you. Thank you for believing in me." Emma smiled and typed back, "I am proud of you. Keep going." She put her phone down and looked out the window. The sun was setting over Lagos, painting the sky orange and pink. She thought about how far she had come, how many lives had been touched, and how many more were waiting. 2 years later, Vanessa graduated from nursing school. The day of her graduation, she invited Emma and Grace to attend. They sat in the front row as Vanessa walked across the stage to collect her certificate. When her name was called, she looked directly at Emma and mouthed the words, "Thank you." After the ceremony, Vanessa ran to Emma and hugged her tightly. "I did it. I really did it." Emma held her and whispered, "Yes, you did. And I am so proud of you." Chief Robert and Mrs. Robert stood nearby, watching with tears in their eyes. Chief Robert walked over to Emma and shook her hand. "Dr. Emma, you did not just save my life. You saved my daughter's soul. You gave her a purpose she never had. I will forever be grateful." Emma smiled. "She saved herself, Chief. I just showed her the way." That evening, there was a small celebration at the Robert family home. But this time, the atmosphere was completely different. There was no pride, no arrogance, no showing off. There was laughter, humility, and joy. Vanessa stood up and asked for everyone's attention. She looked at Emma with tears in her eyes. "I want to say something. Years ago, I was the worst version of myself. I hurt someone who did not deserve it. I mocked her, humiliated her, and made her life difficult. But that same person, when my family needed her most, showed up. She saved my father. She mentored me. She loved me when I did not deserve love." Her voice broke. "Emma, you taught me that true strength is not in money or status. It is in character. You are my hero." The room was silent. Emma stood up slowly and walked to Vanessa. She hugged her and whispered, "You have become a beautiful person, Vanessa. I forgive you." Fully, the two women held each other, and in that moment, all the pain from the past melted away. Grace, who had been watching quietly, wiped her eyes and whispered, "God is faithful." 5 years after Vanessa's graduation, something remarkable happened. Vanessa opened a free clinic in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Lagos. She used her family's wealth, but this time for good. She hired nurses, stocked medicine, and provided free health care to those who could not afford it. On the opening day, Emma was the guest of honor. She cut the ribbon and looked at the sign above the door. It read, "New Beginning Clinic, founded by Vanessa Robert, inspired by Dr. Emma Okafor." Emma's eyes filled with tears. Vanessa stood beside her and said softly, "You changed my life. Now I want to change others." Emma hugged her. "You have come so far. I am so proud of you." The clinic became a place of hope for many. Mothers brought their sick children. Elderly people received treatment they could never afford. And Vanessa worked tirelessly, just like Emma once did. One day, while Emma was visiting the clinic, she saw a familiar face. It was Blessing, the young girl she had helped years ago. But Blessing was no longer small. She was now a young woman, wearing a white coat. "Dr. Emma," Blessing called out excitedly. Emma's mouth opened in shock. "Blessing, is that really you?" Blessing ran to her and hugged her tightly. "Yes, Ma. I just finished medical school. I am starting my residency here at this clinic. Vanessa hired me." Emma could not speak. She just held Blessing, tears streaming down her face. "You did it. You really did it." Blessing pulled back and looked at Emma with shining eyes. "You told me never to give up. I did not. And now I want to help others just like you helped me." Emma looked around the clinic. She saw Vanessa treating a child. She saw Blessing preparing medication. She saw nurses moving with care and compassion. And in that moment, she realized something powerful. Her pain had not been wasted. Her struggle had created a ripple. One life touched another, and that life touched another, and the chain continued. She whispered to herself, "This is why I went through it all. This is the purpose." Months later, Emma was invited to speak at a national conference on healthcare and education. Government officials, doctors, teachers, and students filled the large auditorium. When Emma walked onto the stage, the crowd stood and applauded. She stood at the podium, looked out at the faces, and began to speak. "Many years ago, I was a girl with nothing. I was mocked, humiliated, and told I would never be anything. I had every reason to give up, but I did not. And today, I stand before you not as someone who was lucky, but as someone who chose to keep going." Her voice grew stronger. I stand here to tell you that your beginning does not determine your ending. Where you start is not where you must finish. You have the power to change your story, but it will cost you. It will cost you sleepless nights, tears, sacrifice, and pain. But I promise you, it is worth it. The crowd was silent, hanging on every word. I also stand here to tell you that people can change. The same person who hurt me became one of my greatest success stories. Vanessa Robert is now a nurse, running a free clinic, saving lives and giving back. She is proof that no one is beyond redemption. Emma paused, her eyes scanning the room. So do not write people off. Do not give up on them. And most importantly, do not give up on yourself. The auditorium erupted in applause. People stood, some wiping tears, others nodding in agreement. After the speech, Emma was surrounded by people wanting to thank her, to shake her hand, to take pictures. But through the crowd, she saw her mother, Grace, standing at the back, smiling with pride. Emma excused herself and walked to her mother. Grace opened her arms, and Emma fell into them like a child. "You did it, my daughter," Grace whispered. "You made me so proud." Emma cried into her mother's shoulder. "I could not have done it without you, Mama. You are my strength." Grace pulled back and looked into her daughter's eyes. "No, my dear. God was your strength. I was just his tool." They held each other. Two women who had walked through fire and came out as gold. Years later, Emma was sitting in her office when she received an email. The subject line read, "Thank you from a stranger." She opened it. The email said, "Dear Dr. Emma, you do not know me, but I know you. I am a young man from a small village. I watched your speech online, and it changed my life. I was about to drop out of school because I could not afford the fees. But after hearing your story, I decided to try one more time. I applied for a scholarship and I got it. I am now in my second year studying agriculture. I want to thank you. You saved my life without even knowing it." Emma read the email 3 times. Her eyes welled up with tears. She closed her laptop and looked up at the ceiling. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for using my pain for purpose." Emma leaned back in her chair, a soft smile on her face. Her journey had been long. It had been painful, but it had been worth it. Because now, her life was not just her own. It was a light for others walking in darkness. And that, she realized, was the greatest success of all. So tell me, what did you learn from this story? Share your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to read from you. Another very interesting story will be uploaded in a few days. So subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so you will be notified immediately. I upload the next story. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends so others can also learn from it. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.